Good morning. South Korea reaffirms its stance on Japan's landmark shift away from post-war pacifism in military policy. Where does the Korea New Exchange stand a year after its inception? Designed for small companies, how far has the new market come? From a small offline clothing shop to an online powerhouse, get a look at one powerhouse online vendor. Instant foods made easy and healthy. Make it the way you want it with the ingredients you want. On Korea Today, Wednesday, July 2nd, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And good morning. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. On Korea Today, I'm Kim Young alongside Jin Ju and Kim Min Jung.
Good morning, everyone. There is a lot of anticipation ahead of Pope Francis's visit next month. And apparently he has said that he wants to move around in the smallest car here in Korea. So all the automakers are rushing in to be the chosen one, right?
So the candidates could be Kia Motors, Morning Ray, and GM Spark. But considering security issues, observers are saying that it's most likely that he will decide on a bigger car than that, like Ford Focus, the one that he drives at the Vatican.
Well, the young Kim happens to be the biggest fan of small cars.
Exactly. I'll be happy to drive the Pope around in my morning.
Oh, really? I don't think the Pope will be happy to have you as
Won't even charge him for gas fare, all right?
All right.
All right, well, we are looking forward to that visit there. And now we'll begin with the announcement of the Japanese cabinet's lifting of the decades-long ban on its right to collective self-defense. On Tuesday, South Korea reiterated its stance that Japan must seek consent from Seoul in the event of an emergency situation on and around the Korean peninsula.
The South Korean government reaffirms that Japan's involvement in matters concerning security and interests on the Korean peninsula will not be tolerated without consent.
China's foreign ministry expressed concern over the move, noting Japan's domestic opposition and that it should be the general public of Japan that should have the final say, while the United States government welcomed the move, saying the initiative will enhance Japan's role in the U.S.-Japan alliance and security cooperation while contributing to regional peace and stability. Japan's move may affect already straining relations between Seoul and Tokyo, as the Shinzo Abe government has been on the move to deny its wartime atrocities. Talks on the matter are expected to be on the agenda during Korean President Park Geun-hye and Chinese President Xi Jinping's summit in South Korea this Thursday.
Seoul has effectively rejected Pyongyang's proposal to stop all military hostilities, saying the offer lacks sincerity. In a statement by the Unification Ministry, South Korea pointed out that the North had previously made a similar offer in January to stop cross-border slandering, but soon after broke those promises. The government reiterated that making a conciliatory gesture is Pyongyang's way of putting the blame on Seoul for the heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula. A day after carrying out short-range missile tests on Sunday, North Korea proposed that the two Koreas end military provocations come July 4th, including the cancellation of Seoul and Washington's joint drills scheduled for August. The statement also urged Pyongyang to show a sincere attitude in resolving the standoff over its nuclear pursuit.
And while the Pope does make a decision on which car he will be using while in Korea, Korean automobiles, or more notably, Hyundai Motor Group, is having a good year in the United States after posting record sales. U.S. auto sales in the first half of 2014 showed Kia Motors surpassing 2013's first half-year sales record by nearly 10,000. The Kia Soul and Optima, also known as the K5 on home soil, were the most popular cars. Kia's second quarter sales also set an all-time quarterly high, accounting for the majority of the company's half-year sales. Hyundai Motor Company also capped its highest first half record with 364,000 automobiles sold in the first 6 months of 2014, with a monthly record performance in June. Popular Hyundai models were the midsize Sonata and the compact car Elantra.
The Korean New Exchange, or as it's otherwise known, the KONEX, celebrated its first anniversary yesterday. The stock market platform was designed specifically for small companies to raise capital, coming in line with President Park Geun-hye's goal to promote a business environment where startups can flourish. So how is the market doing 1 year in? We connect live to Arirang News' Kim Ji-yeon, who's at the Korea Exchange. Ji-yeon, let's start with what the KONEX is and the significance of its 1 year anniversary.
As you mentioned, Shinju, the KONEX was set up for small and mid-sized companies to build capital through equity sales and lower their reliance on bank loans. More than 55 companies has been listed on the KONEX so far, and the total market value is about $1.2 billion US. I met some of the major participants of KONEX earlier this week. Kim Gun-ho, the president of the KONEX Association and FN Guide Incorporated, which is listed on the KONEX, says his company is building valuable experience for something bigger.
Listed companies think it's a crucial step, a trial and error period to build a relationship with potential investors before listing on the country's tech-heavy KOSDAQ platform. But most of the companies have not gained financially from listing on the KONEX, not yet at least.
As Kim said, the companies that have listed on the KONEX so far are not raising a substantial amount of money from their involvement. None of the listed companies have transferred to the KOSDAQ over the past year. A lack of participation was suggested as the primary reason, which is leading to questions about the future of KONEX. The amount of transactions in an average day is less than $198,000 US, with less than 48,000 shares traded daily. Chairman of the Financial Services Commission, Shin Jae-un, in a speech at the KONEX anniversary ceremony on Tuesday, vowed to help the index reach its potential.
A new framework is needed to promote innovation and boost the vitality of the national economy. Financial authorities should continuously seek out ways to support the country's small and mid-sized companies as a new engine of growth, like through the KONEX.
The KONEX falls in line with President Park's initiative of a creative economy. As the companies listed are based on creative ideas and technology, the government had promised support to help the country's young businesses become the driving force of the national economy.
So, Ji-yeon, can you tell us some of the efforts the government is making to boost this KONEX market?
So, the thing is, certainly, I mean, the government is trying to lower the standards by inducing more investors. The required deposit for brokerage firms was slashed to 100 million won. This is 1/3 of the required amount. And indefinitely, the minimum number of trading units was also slashed from 100 shares to 1 share. This is the same as the tech-heavy KOSDAQ. And the government also strengthened its so-called fast-track system so that the listed companies can quickly transfer to the KOSDAQ, and also introduce a consultation system. This is where the Korea Exchange designates a company, and it's generally a large corporation, and it sort of acts as a guardian, and it points on those insolvent enterprises that are within the KONEX.
Definitely a lot of measures being put in place there. And since it's just the first year, this market will still have a lot of potential for growth. Thank you, Ji-yeon, for that report. That was our Kim Ji-yeon reporting live on the 1 year anniversary of the KONEX.
Good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. And on most of the local papers this morning is the news of Tokyo approving the right to its so-called collective self-defense. You heard about the announcement earlier too in the program, but let me add a few more details written on the top story of 동아일보. And the headline reads, Abe opens road to Japan self-defense forces to dispatch troops whenever and wherever. And you can see here in the sub-headline, it mentions that Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's cabinet yesterday did approve this new flexible interpretation of its pacifist constitution. Now you can also see quite the contrast here in the images. On the left is Abe at a press conference explaining his decision to enable Japan to exercise this right and allow its military a larger role, adding that the move is in light of protecting the Japanese public. However, on the right, about 10,000 protesters were shouting during a rally in front of the Prime Minister's residence, demanding the Japanese cabinet scrap its plan. And let's now come to Korea on Chosun Ilbo's. We'll take a look at this side story. This article on the summit to be held between President Park Geun-hye and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The header says Korea-China summit tomorrow, discussion on Japan's distortion of history. And the subheadline here notes Chinese Deputy Foreign Minister Liu Zhenmin yesterday said that the two leaders will only naturally talk about Japan and regarding historical matters at this summit. He added that Korea and China have similar interpretations of Japan's behavior as they are both victims of Japan's militarism and invasion during the Second World War. Thus, it would only be more awkward for the two sides to not discuss their wartime history and the recent attempts by Japan to play down its atrocities. However, he did also say that there will not be any measures targeting or explicitly criticizing Japan during this meeting. And moving on to Gyeongyang Shinmun now, taking a look at this local story. A local issue, the title says 1 in 5 workers at conglomerates employed via indirect employment. Now, according to a first set of government statistics on the issue, it turns out that larger conglomerates have a lower portion of directly hired employees, meaning a higher share of indirectly hired employees, which includes non-regular temporary workers and short-term laborers, and which exceeds over 1/3 of the entire number of employees at these conglomerates. The Daily stresses that there are fears that such a phenomenon retrogresses against social responsibility. Now let's wrap with a look at a business news on the Korea Economic Daily. And the headline says 80 billion yuan investments permitted in Chinese stocks. It looks like China is going to grant Korea the RQFII qualification that allows investment in Chinese stocks. Now, briefly explaining what this is, the RQFII system, it stands for RMB Qualified Foreign Institutional Investor. It's a scheme with the aim of allowing overseas investors to use offshore RMB deposits to invest in Chinese mainland securities markets. And as the subheadline mentions, the two countries are expected to make an agreement on this at the summit tomorrow. With this agreement, Korean asset management companies will be given the authority to directly invest in the Chinese market within the limits of up to 80 billion yuan, or roughly $13 billion. And that was a look at your newspaper headlines for this Wednesday. Now, coming up are the stock numbers from Tuesday.
So the monsoon season that started off in Jeju is starting to move upwards, although it has yet to reach Seoul.
It's the time for us to invest in a good pair of rain boots, because you don't know when it's going to
and an
have
umbrella,
these
maybe.
Sporadic showers, right? That's right, umbrella is called for. And we'll get a look at today's forecast with Chun Song-cho. She's going to be joining us from the Yeongdeung-pogu district.
Good morning to you, Song-cho.
Good morning, guys. Yes, like you guys said, today's forecast calls for precipitation in various areas for two different causes.
First, for the central regions, including here in Seoul, a ridge of the high-pressure system over the East Sea is sending in a lot of rain clouds, and it'll eventually start to rain later in the afternoon. However, all the way in the south, we have a monsoonal front which is approaching the peninsula. This is going to start off first with Jeju in the morning with the most rain and even thunder and lightning. Especially around the mountainous areas, it could pour down over 20 millimeters per hour, which is a lot of rain. This downpour will spread to other parts of the southern regions and will continue until tomorrow, so people in those regions should be prepared for damaging winds and heavy showers. Now let's move on over to get a closer look at today's forecast. The southern regions like Busan and Jeju have relatively cooler highs, 24 and 22 respectively, due to the monsoonal front. On the other hand, the central regions remain sweltering hot, with Seoul being the hottest at 30 degrees Celsius. This is all for me with a weather update. Back to you, Minjung.
Now, the repercussions from the death of 3 Israeli teenagers are growing. We'll take a closer look at this and other global headlines with our Eunice Kim, who joins us from the News Center. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Good morning, Minjung.
Now, the bodies were laid to rest on Tuesday, and the Israeli leader has promised that those responsible will suffer the consequences.
And Israel has maintained all along that the Palestinian faction Hamas was responsible for the loss of those 3 young lives. Hamas has not been shy about calling for the destruction of Israel, to be clear, but it has also denied any involvement in this latest killing. Now, just hours ago, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the nation Hamas is responsible, Hamas will pay, Hamas will continue to pay. Emotional but firm during the televised address, he outlined the military goals as taking the murderers into custody, number 1. Number 2, continuing to strike Hamas targets in the West Bank. There have been already more than 30 airstrikes yesterday, and expanding the operation in Gaza as necessary as the final step there. And hours before Netanyahu attended the joint funeral ceremony for the 3 teens who were last seen alive hitchhiking home, their bodies were wrapped in Israeli flags as thousands gathered to mourn. President Shimon Peres called them 3 outstanding boys, sons of the entire nation. They were buried next to each other after the funeral at Modi'in. In an unprecedented move, French police have detained former President Nicolas Sarkozy for questioning over suspicions he used his power illegally. He was grilled on whether he had pursued inside information from a high-ranking judge related to a campaign funding probe in exchange for the promise of a distinguished role in Monaco. Investigators also called in the judge in question, as well as a second judge and Sarkozy's lawyer. Sarkozy has maintained the charges are politically motivated, and they are being seen as a blow to the former leader's ambitions for another presidential run in 2017.
Now, Eunice, we've had no shortage of headlines from the chaotic situation in the Middle East, and it seems like this could also have an effect on summer travelers to the U.S. Tell us more.
Absolutely. If you're headed to the United States, you could be greeted with tougher security procedures at the airport, as U.S. federal authorities are considering instituting stronger screening guidelines. And as you mentioned, Minjung, one of the considerations is the unrest we are seeing in countries like Iraq and Syria, upping the concern that this could breed a safe haven for terrorists to expand their operations, of course, including training, planning, and also recruiting Westerners to join in their fight. Authorities are also watching and concerned about a new type of bomb designed to bypass current screening methods. They believe the explosives are in the developing stages by terrorists from Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. And that's a wrap of the global headlines we're following this morning.
And still to come on Korea Today, one online shopping brand rakes in tens of billions of won in sales with its competitive design, quality, and pricing. It's got it all. The success story of Nanninggu, that's right, Nanninggu, is coming up on Strike Gold.
One of, if not Korea's top prima ballerina, is set to take the stage in a special performance. And joining us is Im Yoon-hee to talk more about this. Good morning.
Good morning, right. So I agree with you. She is such a revered ballerina. And she really has been contributed to putting Korea on the map in terms of ballet. Now, she did take the role as principal dancer for Germany's Stuttgart Ballet for almost 30 years. And recently she took the post as a director for Korean National Ballet. And if that wasn't enough, she is now performing in Madame Butterfly, the ballet version, in just a few days. Take a look. Madame Butterfly is known to most as Puccini's opera, but it's now been translated into ballet, featuring the star Korean prima ballerina Kang Soo-jin. She'll be backed by Innsbruck Dance Company of Austria, a combination that has proven to be extremely successful in past productions. But recently, Kang's returned to her homeland to lead the Korean National Ballet as director.
First of all, as leader of the Korean National Ballet, I have to make sure my team and I don't get injured. The remaining time and energy goes towards preparing the show.
Madame Butterfly was first premiered with the Innsbruck Dance Company in Innsbruck, Austria last year. Even though it's being performed as a ballet, the same tragic story doesn't change. Kang's attraction to the character Cho-Cho results in a mesmerizing masterpiece that reflects her dancing skills alongside the beautiful music, and her passion and dedication to Pinkerton is shown through the dancer's choreography. The 46-year-old is Korea's oldest active ballerina.
Since I was young, I was always sure that before I lose control of my body, I was going to quit. I have too much respect for myself and for ballet. It's important I leave when I do.
Kang is expected to gracefully lead the reputable Korean National Ballet through their performances. But first, her attention is on her most current character, Cho-Cho, who tragically ends her life.
And it's going to be performed on home soil. Now, most people know of Madame Butterfly, the opera version, right? And to make a ballet version of this, an original choreography had to be made. Tell us a bit about this.
Right, so it's very interesting, the story behind this piece. It was actually created for Kang herself. The artistic director of the Innsbruck Dance Company choreographed this piece just for her, to star her as Madame Butterfly. So it's a very special piece for her. Very beautiful to see.
Okay, of course, Kang Soo-jin is no stranger to Korean ballet and also Korea today. I had a chance to tag along with Min Jung when she was interviewing her for our program. Now, what does she say about the Korean National Ballet?
So she's not the only one to say this. Many have said this as well. Koreans are known for their strong technique when it comes to dance and ballet. And so this will be a hand in, raising the level of ballet here in Korea. But, she herself has also a lot to contribute as well, because she has years, decades of experience abroad with, very reputable European dance companies. And so she herself can, bring the level of Korea's ballet to the next step.
Okay, she's juggling many different jobs over here in Korea, and she's also in her mid-40s and still going strong.
Doesn't look like she's going to stop anytime soon.
Well, we hope she doesn't. Thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
And still ahead on Korea Today. Now, instant food and fast food, I think it's gotten a bad reputation, right? But what if you could make it the way you wanted to, putting your own share of healthy ingredients into it? On our hot items segment today, we're going to look at some easy-to-use, fast-acting cookers that are popular products, and we'll share some of the ways that you can use them and make your instant food healthy.
Time now for News Sum Up. If you are one of those people who need to have their mobile phones with them at all times, in the bathroom, in the shower, and in the studio, you may be affected by what's called the nomophobia.
Right. It's shortened for nomophobia. Nomophobia refers to the fear of being without a working mobile phone due to over-reliance or addiction to it. I think they're talking about me. For more on this and other keywords, our Seong joins us from the digital room. Good morning, Ms.
Good morning.
Morning, guys. I think most of us are affected by this to at least some degree, whether we like to admit it or not. I'll expand on this in just a second, but let's first run through some of the other issues that are trending online. National recreational forests start taking reservations for the month of August. Amidst controversy, the basic pension program is open. Fruits and vegetables such as potatoes, blueberries and corn are in season in July, and 85% of office workers suffer from burnout syndrome due to stress buildup. Now, going back to the first listing there, the so-called nomophobia or no mobile phobia is on the rise across all demographics, and increasingly younger children are affected by it as well. Some experts go so far as to say that it is similar to alcohol or drug addiction, and they say that it should be taken just as seriously. Let's take a look. According to a recent survey of around 1.5 million Korean adolescents, more than 10% admitted that their smartphone addiction significantly impaired their daily lives and that they noticed a decrease in their concentration and memory spans. Students also use their phones even whilst walking, which can and has led to an increase in accidents. What about adults? An interesting US survey conducted recently found that the average adult checked their phones 110 times a day, 30% using their phones during meals and 40% even in the bathroom. To wean ourselves from unnecessary smartphone use, experts recommend that we start by turning our phones off when driving or when eating with other people. Moving on to our next issue, recreational forests nationwide yesterday started taking reservations for next month. With most people taking their summer vacations in the month of August, many people rushed online to secure a spot, even forcing some of the websites to crash down. Let's take a look. National recreational forests refer to the 35-odd forests managed by the government's Korea Forest Service. They give the public an opportunity to enjoy nature and facilities installed in the forest for a small fee, whilst acting as a source of income for the local residents. For example, at the Yumyeongsan Mountain Recreational Forest in Gyeonggi-do Province, you can enjoy a day trip for just $1 per person or even sleep overnight. A group of 4 adults can sleep in the lodging cabins for around $32 a night, or you can even take your own camping car for $8 a van. Once that's paid, you can enjoy its sporting facilities, teach your children in the botanical garden, or take a walk in one of its beautiful scenic trails. And that concludes our look at today's edition of your Daily News Sum Up.
And a good Wednesday morning to you all as we kick things off with the South Korean national football team, as the future of manager Hong Myung-bo might be decided sometime this week after the KFA stated that a meeting is scheduled. According to a statement issued by the Korea Football Association, the president of the KFA, Chung Mong-gyu, will be meeting with manager Hong Myung-bo to sit down and talk about his future. The KFA added that it's unfair to remove him from the post just because of the recent poor showing at the Brazil World Cup. Meanwhile, many experts still speculate that manager Hong Myung-bo will resign after the meeting. And staying with football and continuing on with our 2014 Brazil World Cup coverage, as 2 more round of 16 matches took place earlier today, including Argentina taking on Switzerland. Let's take a look at the highlights. Now, both sides going back and forth in this match, and even after 90 minutes, a scoreless 0-0 draw. With the match approaching 120th minute, it looked like another penalty shootout, but Angel Di Maria says no way, as he sends one past the goalkeeper in the 118th minute, giving Argentina the 1-0 win as they advance to the semifinals. Meanwhile, USA taking on Belgium. Both sides going very aggressive from the start, but a scoreless first half. Second half starts and they continue to go at it, and a still scoreless match despite the many chances for both sides. But the extra time, Kevin De Bruyne scores in the 93rd, followed by Romelu Lukaku in the 105th. Now the Americans add one in the second extra time, but the Belgians hang on to win it 2-1 to advance to the next round. And now moving over to some Tuesday night's KBO action, the LG Twins get a walk-off win in the 11th inning over the Hanwha Eagles 1-0, with the Doosan Bears holding on to beat the Kia Tigers 4-3, and the NC Dinos win one over the SK Wyverns 5-4. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the Lotte Giants take on the Nexen Heroes. Now, the first inning of the game, Park Jong-yoon here, RBI single to right gives the Lotte Giants the early 1-0 lead. But the second inning, Kang Jong-ho at bat, and he drills this one to deep right center field, gone, and we're tied 1-1. Bottom of the third inning, Lotte up 2-1. Ho Do-hwan sends this one to deep center, and there it goes. We're tied again 2-2. Same inning, next up 4-2. Kang Jong-ho up at bat once again, and this one number 24 on the season, and Nexen has the lead 6-2. Now fifth inning, Choi Jun-suk at bat and deep to right, back, gone, and it's 6-3. Sixth inning, Chung-hoon this time, and another home run, and the deficit is cut 6-4. But wait, seventh inning, Kang Min-ho with a man on, and hello and goodbye, a 2-run shot, and we're tied 6-6. But now the Nexen Heroes answers back with 6 runs in the bottom of the seventh inning as they win the slugfest 12-7, your final score. And now finishing things off with some exciting news for all the UFC fans in Asia, as Dana White, the president of Ultimate Fighting Championship, announced in a recent press conference that he's planning a tournament between Korea, China, and Japan. Now, Dana White, who's currently in Japan for the upcoming Fight Night event in Japan, stated that the UFC plans to host an 8-month-long UFC tournament between fighters from the 3 nations. He added that, quote, when you go into a market and you have thousands of years of history between people, it's a home run. Meanwhile, the UFC hopes to host their first event in Korea in the near future. And that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
For Strike Gold, where we look at some of the successful small and mid-sized companies packing a punch. And today we're going to do some shopping. We're looking at an online shopping mall for
Right.
It's the way to go, just shopping online, right?
And I'm a huge fan of it myself. And Jesse Day joins us to tell us all about it. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Yeah, online shopping, it's easy and convenient, and it's big business here in Korea. In fact, there's about 20,000 online shopping malls open, but it's very hard to succeed in. 2,000 new ones open every month. And of those 2,000, about 98% fail within the first 6 months.
98%,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's easy to start up, very hard to succeed at. And today we'll be looking at a company called Naning-gu, and we'll see how they've succeeded. So let's check it out on this week's edition of Strike Gold. Among the countless online women's fashion shopping malls in Korea, Naning-gu is making history. It handles not only clothes but accessories, undergarments, and anything female beauty related. With 650,000 registered members and 130,000 visitors a day on average, the company's annual sales reached a total of 45 billion won last year. Now, those are some serious figures for sure. And now let's hear from the CEO of the company.
I ran a clothing shop at an underground shopping arcade for about 10 years. The arcade went under construction and I had to close the shop for about 6 months. That's when I got the idea to try out an online shopping mall.
Naning-gu started out in 2006 with just 3 million won in capital. But just 8 years later, it's grown into a clothing brand company with 200 employees and its own production line. Customers say that Naning-gu's best quality is its diverse styles. Everything from cute outfits to comfortable casuals, there's a style for every woman. Orders are pouring in from overseas too, and now the company even has an international customer support division.
We have deals in 40 to 50 countries overseas. China is the biggest buyer, with trade reaching about 5 billion won last year. Japan and the US are also big buyers.
All of the boxes you see here need to be shipped out in 1 day. About 5,000 new orders are placed a day on average on Naning-gu's website. And that's certainly a lot of boxes and a lot of effort to get all those items out in one single day.
Look at those boxes.
Yeah.
Just for one day?
Yeah, and aside from the items that have run out due to a rush of orders, Nanningu makes sure the items are sent out on the same day of purchase.
At Korea Post Parcel Services, there's a special team that exclusively deals with Nanningu. On busy days, about 4,000 boxes are shipped out.
With the enormous amount of boxes to ship out, they can't help but have an exclusive team. Every single item sold at Nanningu is chosen through a designing and styling meeting attended by the CEO. Nanningu handled some 2,000 items at a time, ranging from clothes, accessories, bags, and more. And all these products are given the Nanningu label only after winning CEO Lee Jung-min's approval. And you can see these items here are the ones she has approved. So there is quite a rigorous quality control on which designs do end up going out.
So she's the founder, the president, and also acting CEO of this whole company.
And photographers we see here. The CEO Lee Jung-min also takes all the pictures of the models and the products herself.
Wow.
Back in 2006, she didn't even know how to use a computer or take pictures. And Lee says there's something that makes her happy than the growing sales or the fame as a top online shopping mall in the country.
From taking pictures of the products to displaying the clothes, I enjoy them all so much. My workplace is like a playground for me. I have so much fun doing the work, and I think customers can feel that.
Nanningu became the first local online shopping mall to open shop within a department store. Just 1 year after opening its first offline store, Nanningu has already opened its 8th. While most other shops and department stores see a flood of new products come in when the seasons change, Nanningu introduces a small number of new items each day to check the customer's response.
I am currently displaying the new products that came in today. Unlike other brands in the department store, we get new products coming in every day. Our customers love that they can see something new even if they visit every day.
At the offline stores, not only the items available online, but some special goods offered exclusively offline can be found as well. But the biggest merit of the offline stores is that the customers can see and try on the clothes that they had only previously seen on the screen.
When I shopped online, sometimes the clothes didn't look good on me. But here at the store, it's nice that I can see the products firsthand, as well as touch them and try them on.
Nanningu started out as a humble online store, but has since grown into an IT brand leading the Korean fashion industry.
Jesse, though, with all due respect, you're not doing the word justice. You have to say Nanningu.
Nanningu.
It's not the most sophisticated word per se, but it refers to the running shirts.
The tank tops that you wear under the shirts, and that's where it
older
comes
men
from.
here in Korea wear them.
Hey,
right?
I wear them.
Nanningu man.
Right, and as you mentioned, there's so many online shopping malls here in Korea, and very few survive this very fierce competition. So what sets Nanningu apart from other companies?
Well, their online marketing strategy really is a huge key to their success. They started back in 2006 and were using a lot of banner ads and pop-up ads, which were not only cheaper back then, but less invasive and numerous than they are today, so it was able to get through to consumers easier. Also, they worked a lot on search engine optimization to make sure customers could find them easily. And in fact, they continue to innovate in their online marketing, and that has led to them winning the 2013 Online Ad and Marketing Award. And now, once they get those customers, you got to keep them, of course. So the way they do that is by offering special incentives, including something called Nines Day. It's on the 9th of every month. You guys might want to take note of this. And they offer up to 90% discounts.
Wow,
90%.
90%.
That's a steal.
And speaking of their products, I brought some of them into the studio today, so you can see some of the clothing and accessories as well.
Now
hold on a second, guys. That is a gift. So
it's a gift?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, let's rip it open.
You guys can go ahead and fight over whatever's in there.
I love it when your delivery comes. Ooh, a hat
for the summer vacation.
You want to try it on? Wow, and it's, you know, the quality has to be good. Let's take a look at this thing and see if it's,
Well, what do you think? I don't really know women's wear.
It's quite sexy.
I think it's nice as a summer dress. Absolutely.
Feels good.
So who's taking the dress? Who's taking the hat?
I'll take the dress.
Here?
She'll take the hat.
Well, but these online shopping malls are becoming really successful, and many offline shops are opening across the country as well, it seems like.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. In addition to Naningu, there is a Nine Girl as well, which is started very lovely. It started online, and it's now has offline stores as well. And a big thing about that that's pretty impressive is that it's hard to get a store opened in a department store, which is something both Naningu and Nine Girl and some others have done as well. And the sales are doing fantastic. I mean, Naningu, am I pronouncing it right now?
Naningu.
Naningu.
There you go.
Okay, I was doing the foreigner pronunciation before. Yeah.
A little faster, though.
Yes. So they're actually raking in 350 million won a month at a location they opened last year. And that's higher than even Uniqlo, a brand that we all know is very popular here in Korea. So quite significant.
Okay, so these companies such as Uniqlo and, you know, these Forever 21, these companies that's really gone global. This Naningu company can really do that and is right on the verge of going global. But it started through online. Now we're all going online shopping these days.
Yeah.
Is it surpassing retail sales from shopping malls and stores?
Well, it is on the rise, and that definitely may be a big possibility for the future. Just to give an example, in 2007, total online sales reached 27 trillion won here in Korea. And now that's grown to last year, it was 55 trillion won. And projected sales figures for this year are approximately 65 trillion won, which is higher than supermarkets. So it's looking like it's going to continue to grow. And the convenience of not having space restrictions, time restrictions, no opening or closing hours. You don't necessarily need all the staff right at the beginning. So these sorts of things make it very appealing. Like I said at the beginning, it's very hard to succeed at, but if you can be innovative enough, it could be the way for the future.
I think marketing plays a huge factor there.
Absolutely.
Quite good. So one for you.
I'm liking this hat.
Just dress and act. What about me?
All right. Well, Jesse, very interesting. Thank you for doing this report for us.
Thank you for the hat and the gift.
You're welcome, and please enjoy.
Thank you.
Took our hats and the dresses real quick, right? But we're gonna have some other items to introduce you to. Instant food doesn't really have to be all that bad for you, and you could get creative with it as well, right?
That's right. Everyone knows I'm a terrible cook, so I'm really
don't know
looking
that.
forward to it.
You haven't cooked anything for us.
Anyway, Angela Park and Peter Bint are standing by. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
That's right. So I guess you guys haven't had breakfast yet, right? Because you have to prepare so early.
So
you
brought it.
We did bring it, and it's not that bad for you. It's very healthy, and it's instant. You know, we're changing lifestyles these days, especially in Korea. Many one-person households. Not looking at you for any particular reason. But, it means people.
He edited out the lonely part in that
Not
segment.
necessarily lonely, but many people are looking for new and quick recipes and ways to cook, right?
That's right. And not only that, but especially mothers, right? Not only are they trying to find a convenient way to cook, but they also want to know what goes into their food, trying to make it healthy, especially for their children. So today, not only do we have instant food, different types of food cookers like Peter mentioned, but it's going to be something that conventionally we don't really think to make at home. The first one, it's Magic of Rice 90, and it's an instant rice cooker.
Instant rice cooker, okay, and it makes rice cakes, not just normal rice.
Rice cake,
right?
I'm sorry, yes.
So usually, Angie, I've seen rice cakes being made the traditional way. You've got to soak the rice for ages, make the powder, and steam it for hours, literally. How on earth can this be instant?
Well, we are taking out one of those steps. We are using just rice powder and putting it into the machine. But the steaming process, I was amazed. I was like, how can you steam a little rice cake in 90 seconds? But really, that's all it takes. It's perfect for like busy mornings where you just pop it in 90 seconds, you have breakfast or a nice little healthy snack for your family.
Fantastic. So that's behind you there,
yes,
right?
this is the machine here. Let me move on this side. This is the Magic of Rice 90 machine here. And Peter, if you look behind you, actually, we have set up little rice cake containers, and those are already cooked that we made before the show started. It is still warm, right?
So what is the secret to this?
Okay, so it's very, very convenient. We have pre-made to make it convenient, of course, for our show. And I'm going to show our cameras here. They're all different, right? And so you can choose rice powder, or you can get the rice powder at pretty much any supermarket here in Korea. And then you put it in, and then you get to be creative in terms of what you put into your rice cake. So, of course, there are the conventional ones like chestnuts or beans or pine nuts, things like that. Also, raisins is another popular choice, right? But you put it in after you set it up. We have these containers. Ooh, Peter, can you help me?
Absolutely.
So these are the 4 we have prepared. So I have to use my muscles for this. You have to push it in.
Wow. Okay, let me give that a try.
Yes, you try. This is Peter's first time.
Oh,
there we go. You felt it puncture?
It's a paper cup, yeah.
Yes. You know, teasing your muscles there. Okay, so once we put it in, so there are 4 little slots, right? So you press the corresponding, and then it started.
And this is the timer. It's already down to 83 seconds. That's
We're
absolutely...
already almost... Oh, I have so much things I need to say, though.
Okay, so how does this machine work, though?
Okay, so we have a second machine prepared so that we can show our viewers. But if you notice, we put the containers into the slots, right? So what it is in the slots, there are these little pin-like steamers. So it uses high pressure and high temperatures. And with these pin-like things, when you puncture it into the container there, it's basically transmitting that high pressure, high temperature steam directly into the rice cake container. And that is what allows for such a quick cooking process. And
isn't that a little bit dangerous? High pressure steam.
Yes. You know. A lot of people are worried about the high pressure. You know, we see a lot of home appliances that lead to accidents, right? But the thing is, there's a sensor on this machine where once it detects that the water levels reach a certain low point, it'll just shut off altogether completely. And that way you don't have overheating and you don't have, like you said, some accidents that can come from too much pressure.
That's fantastic. Well, this has literally only got 18 seconds to go. You can see the steam is coming out the top. There's a bit of water coming out there. But you're saying that in 10 seconds they'll be ready and cooked.
That's right. Well, I'm getting like a facial here with this steam. But the great, it's convenient too. And our MCs, I'm sure, because they're busy in the mornings as well, right? But you just grab it after it's done and you can pretty much eat as you go.
Can we eat it now?
Yes, Peter's very excited.
I am very excited.
So which one do you want?
I want one that I did. Okay.
Let's take off this container.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's not too hot to just get out straight away.
Because it's steamed, right?
It looks good. It's green.
Not too bad. You like the green one?
It's meant to be green, right?
Okay, I'll take the brown one. Do you want to try it? Yes.
Okay.
Do you guys want some?
Can you show us?
Maybe after
let's show our viewers through one of the cameras there. I think our viewers would be very curious.
Wow, it looks like ice cream almost.
It almost looks like a pudding.
Cupcakes. So you see that, right?
That's like the best rice cake I've ever had.
It's so warm.
No, because I don't like rice cakes. I'm going to be honest right now. Because it's freshly cooked, it's just come out now. It is absolutely delicious. And it does almost taste like a cake for foreign viewers out there. Rice cake is not usually, well, it can be a dessert.
Describe what it tastes like.
It tastes sweet. It's got a lot of stodge in there as well.
I don't know what stodge is.
The British word for being very dense.
Stodge. That's a new word. Well, number one, it is warm. Anything warm tastes really good, right? But the texture is so moist and so soft. It just like crumbles. It's really moist because obviously anything you steam is moist, right? But then you taste the flavors of the rice powder and the different healthy stuff that you put into it.
And in 90 seconds, that's amazing. For breakfast or something like that, you're going to be able to grab that really quickly. We will make some more and save some for you guys.
I mean, you can make 4 at a time, and it almost looks like a commercial version
like you
there.
could sell them or something outside your house, maybe.
Looking up, I'm really curious about that bar right there.
No, let's go on to my machine over here, okay?
Okay.
Oh, this has already
here.
popped out. This is this machine makes these delicious egg rolls, okay? You see here.
They look like those little things you see at convenience stores.
We call them hot bars, right?
Yeah, in Korea we call them hot bars, right?
Yeah. So let me come right here.
Sorry, it's not
They
hot
look
bar.
like professionally made, actually.
Yeah, and this has already come out and ready. See, that's what it is. It's the Egg Master Any Roll, and all you need to do is put eggs and other ingredients into the tube here, right?
Into here.
And it cooks them automatically in about 7 minutes.
Okay, so in terms of making, we call it 계란말이 in Korea, right? And I'm horrible at rolling stuff, but this looks like so perfect. I would be willing to try it.
It's a perfect cylinder, absolutely, yeah. This thing, I'll show you on the camera there, it's nice and round. You just put the ingredients in here. You need to preheat it. It takes maybe 2.5 minutes, but these are already done. And then what you do is simply spray in some oil. I'm gonna do this here, just about 3 or 4 sprays.
There we go.
All in there, okay. And all we need to do now is put in the eggs. I'll wait for a second because we've got the technology bit going out
Yeah,
there.
how does it work exactly?
The tube is just heated up, right? And as soon as the eggs go in there,
That
it
is a
heats
hot
them up.
bar.
And
It's the
when
same
it's
thing.
ready, it automatically slides out. Because when you heat something, it expands, right?
Right.
So we saw earlier this egg thing, it was out. And I'll try this again. So we can get that out by the time we're finished. And I'll make a new one over here,
So you have to get the eggs into there.
Into there, that's maybe the trickiest part. And that's
Peter
not
was a
too
little nervous
tricky.
about this.
I'm an expert.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Right in.
You got to put in 2 eggs and then whatever other ingredients
it's already
you want.
steaming a little bit.
Yeah. Close the, so simple, even I can do this, right? Close the lid, and then when it's ready, it'll automatically rise out of there.
Like it did earlier,
this stick
right?
did. Like I'll show
Don't
you,
you
this
need
is
the bar
ready.
in there, though, so you could pull it out?
Sure, you do
stick,
need the
yeah.
stick, but I've used it for this one. So
So you don't have any more sticks with you.
I'm going to plonk
Put
that
in your
stick in there
finger.
later. But it comes out delicious like this. And you can put in anything, literally meats, vegetables. Some people even put cereal and crackers in here to get a full breakfast
that
in
would
an
work, I
egg,
suppose.
saving time,
I
right?
like the bacon idea.
Pictures, bacon and cheese is what I would go. But you can get creative with this as well.
Sure, and it's great for kids especially. I know my kid, he may be young, but he doesn't like vegetables particularly. But if you hide them in the egg and deceive the children, I'm not
It's all
promoting
about
deceiving
deceiving children,
but
right?
you can get them to get their vitamins and their goodies, right? In
Unless
the
they
egg.
see it, right? Then you'll be picking out every single vegetable.
Don't let them see you
Slice
making
them,
it.
chop them up really tiny.
Yeah, don't let them see the secret behind it, right?
It's so visually colorful and kind of aesthetically pleasing that I think kids would just have fun eating it, right?
You just put some ketchup and mustard on this stick egg. There's a sausage inside this one, so I do want to eat it. I am going to eat it, in fact.
Oh, he really is.
It's
You
good.
didn't even ask me if I wanted some.
Right?
We can have some of this one, okay?
Okay,
But it was
okay.
really good, really hot. It was really tasty.
He immediately regrets this
No,
decision.
it is kind of like an egg corn roll. Yeah, lovely.
No, but it looks delicious as well, and I like how we have the visual aspects of bell peppers, because I saw the ingredients that Peter was preparing before the show, and it just looks healthy, because you're not splattering oil everywhere in your kitchen, and because usually it sticks to the pan, so you need a good amount of oil there.
That's the perfect thing about this. You just put it in there, then for 6-7 minutes you can go and do your hair in the mornings, do whatever you need to do, and then just come back, eat it on a stick as you're going out, on the go.
It's like an omelet on a stick.
Exactly.
Yeah, the perfect marketing way. Omelette on a stick.
All right, so you guys, you don't have to go down to our company cafeteria today.
Trust
You
us.
have your protein and your carbs and your deliciousness.
I have a sweet tooth. I'm going to go for those cupcakes.
The rice cakes. You know, why don't you get on 4 more of those for us? You know?
Okay, we'll get that
We
started.
would appreciate that. We appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, that just about does it for this edition of Korea Today.
All right, enjoy your Wednesday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.